No worries, and thanks, Becky. I enjoyed the last part of your talk. So yeah, I wanted to tell you all a little bit about sound, what is sound therapy, um, the benefits of it. There are many, many benefits. And I thought I'd finish the session with a little treat, as I do on most of my group sound meditations, which will be playing a little bit of my handpan. So a little different from what else you'll hear today. I hope you enjoy. But let's get stuck in. So sound's been around for so long in terms of cultures and so on. We're talking about right back in the days of rocks to things like the Neanderthal flutes to the bells and ceremony, and which slowly but surely became things which were linked to meditation, and probably that's the closest thing which we can relate to in terms of how they're used these days. There's a big surge in sound, which is really nice as well at the moment. There's a lot of sound coming to wellness spaces, and people figuring out ways to include them in their wellness routines, which is really nice to see. And I'm super grateful to be a part of that. We're bringing sound to people. I've been doing this for just over a year and a half. I certified with IPHM through one of their accredited teachers, and I'm very grateful for that. So here I am, a year and a half in. Music, however, has been with me a long time, since I was a child. I actually came from a drumming background, but these days, instead of drums, it's more like bowls. So I quite enjoy using them instead. So I touched briefly on, a very, very briefly on sound, things that we know that we have seen in sound from the past, and bringing it right to now to specifically this short session. What is sound therapy? And I have a sentence that's saved in my mind from my mentor, my tutor as well, which I think sums it up perfectly and hopefully resonates with you as well. It's a holistic modality creating energetic shifts that have a biochemical effect on the body. So a bit of a mouthful, but I'm sure you can follow a holistic modality. Of course, holistic, we're all here for this kind of treatment, creating energetic shifts that have a biochemical effect on the body. So sound, just to like delve into that a little bit more, sound it's twofold. It's audio, but it's also tactile, it's vibrations. So it might not just be something that we hear, but we can also feel. And that plays two important parts in my offering, where I focus on one-on-one treatments, and I also focus on group treatments as well, or group sound meditations, also commonly called sound baths. So when we're talking about audio and vibrational, we're dealing with frequencies, resonant frequencies. So a frequency is, for those who don't know, it's measured in hertz. It's the amount of vibrations per second, and everything has a resonant frequency. So if you think about maybe a first biology or chemistry lesson in school, and they used to teach us about particles vibrating closely to each other. If it was a different type of matter, that might be many packs tighter, vibrating quickly, or if it was looser, there might be less spread out. You can kind of understand this build-up. So everything has a vibrating resonant frequency. If we could find the resonant frequency of everything, then, or anything, we would be in a much different place. But this is our challenge. So when we're using sound in therapy, we're using approximations of frequencies that we know have helped in the past from previous studies and so on, and can help in certain areas. The challenge is, obviously, I'm very different from you, from someone else. We're all completely different, age, our physical makeup, male or female, everyone's different. So what might work or connect for me, with me, might be different to yourself or somebody else. So when we're using these frequencies, two things happen that I would like to talk about. One is that we're creating sympathetic reactions, and that can be on a cellular level, on a physical level. And I speak about this more in the light of one-on-one sessions, which is something that I focus on more. I quite enjoy one-on-one sessions. And for one-on-one sessions, I use our metal Himalayan singing bowls. And when we're using these in a one-on-one setting, they have quite a tactile. They have a very high vibrational property as opposed to crystal, which I'll come on to in a bit. I have a singing bowl here, just as an example. I'm not sure if the microphone will pick it up, but we'll give it a go anyway. This is 124 hertz. It's a B. And when you get in the see if I can. Can you hear that? Yeah, very good. Okay. So you can't feel this, but I certainly can. And when these are placed around the body, there are specific sequences, specific positions that we put these different sized bowls that can really create energetic shifts in the body. And it's a very amazing thing. We can tailor them to focus on whatever the person might be bringing with them. Sometimes that might be emotional, it can be physical as well, it can be on-body treatments, it might be mental as well, anything from bereavement to, gosh, there's so many things I think that are put upon us these days which we can benefit from. So it really does depend on what the person is bringing. I think the biggest thing that I have learned in my time doing this is that people don't give themselves a chance to just be and to just rest. And when you truly rest in a truly therapeutic state, that's when restoration happens, rejuvenation happens. The body is an amazing thing, but it just needs that time. And these bowls can help put us in a state where the body is relaxed enough and able to do what it needs to do. So I'm not a sound healer. I don't like the term because I'm not doing it. I'm a practitioner. I'm helping creating a setting for you to work through what you need to. So that explains a little bit about the metal singing bowls that we use in a one-on-one setting. I have a different bowl here, which is used for group settings, which is a crystal bowl. We'll bring it as well and see if you guys can hear it. The nice thing about these, or the point that I wanted to talk more relevant to these, is a thing called brainwave entrainment, where the brain has a remarkable ability to mimic exterior influences. And when we're using these bowls in a large group setting, they're much louder audio-wise than the metal bowls. So they're good for if you're doing 20, 30 people in a session in a big space, they can project better. And sonically, they appeal to this ability to get us into different brainwave states, which is also very, very therapeutic for us and be very, very helpful. You may have heard of brainwaves, gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta, these kind of brainwaves. And specific frequencies appeal to different brainwaves. And through a session, we go through them again to become to get into a very relaxed state where we can let go of blockages. It's all about energetic blockages, whether they are physical, emotional, or mental. So I'm going to ring this. Let's see if you guys can hear that. Probably a different sound. Yeah. It is a big note. It relates to the crown as well. Of course, bowls and notes that help our energy cycles in our body, also known as chakras. I'm sure many of you might be aware of them, the root, up to the crown. Using these bowls in these settings can certainly help us to release, alleviate, work on any specific parts that we might need. For example, in a group setting, when using these bowls, a very common thing that we hear is gurgling tummies. About 15-20 minutes in, we hear gurgling tummies. That's where we hold our stress in our core. It can be a very common place to hold our stress So when people are letting go, when people are relaxing, they often have a bit of chemical, which is fine. Another one is also hearing people clear their throat when we're using the bowl, which is linked to this area, this throat chakra. And my explanation for this is that I think that we've all got something to say, and we're not so often in a place which is encouraged to, and that's why I think that these events are so important and so nice. So yeah, that's another interesting thing that we often see. Now, to dive into the benefits of these sound tools a little bit more, I mentioned previously physical, mental, emotional. On a physical level, there are studies talking about cellular rejuvenation, red blood cell count, all these kind of things which benefit from sound being introduced to the body. Very, very interesting. We also see things like liquid purification. I don't know, maybe you have seen videos of, or tried it yourself. If you put some water in this bowl and you strike it, you'll see these beautiful patterns happening, cymatic patterns. And when you relate that to how much of our body is made up by liquids, you can understand that there is a purifying process going on as well. Another one is the immune system. By introducing sounds to the body, our nitric oxide system is quickening. By doing so, it's improving our immune system. So it can be a very good immune aid as well. So it's not always about when something's wrong to fix it. I always like to encourage sound as being something proactive. That can be helping us better in a position. On a mental level, I think one of my favorite aspects of why this is helpful, because two things are happening. We are creating presence, and we are cultivating acceptance. And when we're doing that, we're right in the moment. And that's not a common place that we are these days. There are many things distracting us, from emails or that call that we had with that person, or the thing we have to get to tomorrow, or the worry about this or that. There's many things that keep us occupied. So when we have a moment to really just be in that moment, not worried about the past, not anxious about the future, then we create a space of opportunity. And that's just so helpful. So whether you have a bowl or not, or whether you have the opportunity to go to a session or not, just having a bit of time for yourself really is, it's just so important. So on this mental level, these are the two main points for me which resonate, that are helpful with these sound tools. There are also sequences which can be used that are uplifting. I love some of the combination of notes as well, which create this elevating, this uplifting, this raising, which can lift one's spirits. Maybe we're going through a hard time. There are also grounding sequences which can help if somebody is very stressed or very anxious at the time. So things can certainly be tailored to one's needs, what they're bringing to a session. And on a physical level, I also treat people who have digestive issues, and over 7-month periods, we've seen massive improvements in their specific prognosis, shall we say. So stresses are there, and it's I always joke, I say it's a full-time job trying to stay alive. But there are these good things around us to use on. So I think that's just a little bit about the mental level. An emotional one is I think emotionals often can be a result of some of the other elements or areas that we're dealing with. Because often, if mentally we are present and we are in check, then our emotions from the heart don't travel to the head and create drama. And often sort of like help one another. So it is a whole picture. We all know that it's not just one specific thing. Appealing to us as that whole picture is often my goal. So how are we doing to time? Does anybody have any questions? You feel free to pop them in the chat there. If you do, if not, that's okay. So this is just a brief introduction to, sound. I hope that this has been helpful for you. If anybody is interested in learning a bit more, or they have any questions, I invite you to join me online. My website is welcome-to-soundworks.com. And I'm actually London-based, Northwest London. So I do a lot of sessions in Northwest London. I do South London as well. I'm actually doing one tomorrow at the Jamia Buddhist Centre. If anyone happens to be in South London, they're most welcome. And I super encourage just conversation. These things are beautiful modalities which I love to share with people. I'd love to learn as well. We're always learning. I'm still learning on my journey. So maybe you have something to teach me. So for the last 10 minutes or so of the session, I would like to play a little bit of my handpan for you. As I mentioned previously, I come from a drumming background. But when I discovered the handpan many years ago, it sort of brought me into these more calm realms. So I have it here. It's not specifically a sound healing tool, which is okay, but it's most definitely still very, very relaxing. The reason why it's not a sound healing tool is because it requires constant activation, whereas when you have a bowl with long resonance, it rings. Another purpose of that ring is that it's taking you from sound, from busy to silence. At the end of that ring, you're following that ring, and that ring is really what helps you to just focus on the now and really relax. So I do use this though at the end of my group sessions. I find it a very joyful tuning, and I find it very, so hopefully find that as well on this Saturday morning. Take that down a little bit in case you can't see what's going on there. Precariously balancing. Okay. You guys hear that okay? Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was amazing.
You're welcome. Yeah, so not a sound healing tool, but I think it sounds lovely. So I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Craig. I'm from Soundworks. I do sound, I do one-on-ones, group sessions. Now I do talks as well, where I make some. If any of you ever have any questions or would like to join my journey, you can find me on Instagram or my website is workingtosoundworks.com. And I wish you all the best. I hope you enjoyed this little truth, something a bit different, I hope. I hope you'll have a beautiful weekend. Thank you again to Siobhan and IPHM for putting on this holistic collective. Certainly a few things that we will all take from this weekend. So thank you again. And yeah, I wish you all the best going forward. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Siobhan.
Oh, thank you so much, Craig. That was amazing. And I can't wait for more people to watch that because I feel so zen now. So thank you.
Great. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Siobhan.
No worries. Have a lovely day. Cheers.